Hi everyone, so guess what just came in the mail this morning? It's our new book, Advanced Taxation, a book that is based on the ICAG syllabus for students writing Principle of Taxation in Level 2 and Advanced Taxation in Level 3. I'm very much excited about this book because it is based on the ICAG syllabus, strictly based on the ICAG syllabus, and also based on the new laws, the new acts, new regulations that governs taxation in Ghana as required by the revised syllabus of the Institute of Chartered Accountants, Ghana. I'm very much excited about this copy that has been released, published in the UK less than a month ago, and everything about this book is superb. It's going to be assisting you, be your master guide in order for you to prepare well for your examination. And guess what? It is just 120 Ghana cedis. And so we are going to be starting delivery immediately for the people who pre-ordered the book, because we had a lot of students pre-ordering the book prior to its release due to the pandemic. But hey, it's now going to be available. And so you can call or WhatsApp 050-114-9296. 050-114-9296 and grab your copy of this book, because I know that it's going to be assisting you if you're a follower of my work. Simplicity in detail is something that I do, and that is something that is critical, and I know this book is going to assist you in order for you to prepare well for your examination. Now, so somebody may be asking, hey Nhyira, what are some of the things you covered? You can see that displayed on your screen, but we covered the Ghana tax system, tax administration in Ghana, fiscal policy, capital allowance, corporate tax liabilities, withholding tax, chargeable income or chargeable gains, the 3-tier Ghana National Pension Scheme, income tax liabilities on natural resources, petroleum operations, mineral and mining operations, standard tax planning, sundry tax issues, professional conduct in relation to taxation, and any other thing that you need in order for you to prepare well for your examination. So what are you waiting for? Call the number 050-114-9296 and grab a copy today for your examination. I know this can assist you to prepare well for your examination. See ya. Hi everyone. So welcome to the live stream today. Very much excited for having you on another Q&A session today as we prepare ourselves in or towards the ICA November 2020 examination. I see some of you joining the stream. You are welcome to the stream. Comment below with any questions that you have for me in the chat box, and let me address your questions for you real quick. Probably you studying something and then you have a problem with and then you would want me to share my thoughts on, or probably you have a question about a standard, about a topic that you don't understand, that you would want me to share my thoughts on. Put it in the chat box for me real quick, and then let's answer that. I see some of you guys joining the stream. Welcome to the stream. Smash the like button when you join the stream. That way we get more engagement on the video, and YouTube and Facebook will be able to push the video so we can reach as many students as possible. Right, so I see some comments coming in already. Welcome to the stream today. See some of you joining here already on YouTube as well as on Facebook. Welcome to the stream on YouTube as well as on Facebook. So let's see. All right. Okay. So Hamza Zafar said, I asked you in last part about CPA, and you added that it is in your note, and you told me you answer. So would I get answer? I don't know the context of the question you are asking. Maybe you can re-ask the question, then I can look at it for you real quick, Hamza. Okay, so I see some of you guys joining. Welcome to the stream. Smash the like button when you join the video. That way we get more engagement on the video, and YouTube will be able to push the video so we can reach as many students as possible. Now, as we prepare for the ICAG November 2020 examination with less than how many days? Less than 18 days to go, about 18 or 17 days to go. Want to come your way and then answer any questions you are having as you are preparing yourself for the ICA November 2020 examination. I see some comments coming in. Let's look at them real quick. Hamza said, please tell me what is the reason that we break volume variance of fixed overheads into capacity and uh, efficiency variances. Fixed volume variances, it depends on where you are standing at. If you're in the marginal costing system, then we only calculate uh, the fixed overhead expenditure variance. But if you're an absorption costing school of thought, then we would have to calculate the fixed overhead expenditure variance, the fixed overhead capacity variance, and then the fixed overhead efficiency variance in relation to that. Now, the capacity variance, like the name suggests, tells you about your productivity level in terms of what you want to produce as against what you are able to produce. Whilst your efficiency level tells you about the utilization of the available labor that you are using for the production of the goods in that case. So your capacity is about, okay, how many units can you produce? How many units did you produce? Your efficiency, as always, has to do with how many hours did you use to produce what you produced, as against how many hours should you produce. So that is the issue about the difference between the capacity and then the efficiency. So the efficiency has to do with the hours utilization in the output. The capacity has to do with the output you are producing given the available resources that you have. So that is the issue about the reason for the capacity and then the efficiency variance. Any other questions? I see some of you guys joining the stream on YouTube as well as on Facebook. Welcome to the live stream. Smash the like button when you join, and then comment below with any questions that you have for me. And then let's address the questions for you real quick as you prepare for your examination. And also, I'll be able to share some thoughts with you in that case. So comment in the chat box any questions you have for me, and then let me assist you in the questions in that case. Um, let's see. Let's see. So as we are preparing for the exams with less than 18 days to go for the exams, I believe that by now you are consolidating, bringing everything to closure, and then finding out what it is that you need to look out for. By now, by the close of this week, you should be able to have the issue in relation to what are my strong areas, what are my weak areas, what are my areas that I'm comfortable with, and what are the areas that I'm not comfortable with in relation to that. What am I comfortable with? What am I not comfortable with in relation to that? So you, as a student, would have to look out for what it is that you need to do in order for you to understand those things. So I want you to make sure that you position yourself, you understand the areas that you have strength in so far, then you will be able to understand how you can focus on the areas you have challenges in to be able to pass the examination in that case. Now, I see some comments coming in. Let's see if we can address them real quick. Senior Kewawa said, talk about branch accounting. Branch accounting, that is a huge, a whole topic on its own that I would have to talk about. So maybe if you can ask me something specific in branch accounting, I could provide you with some answers in that case. But saying I should talk Eh, okay, so I hope we back. More or less, like something went on. Okay, so all right. So Samuel Quason said, "Hi there. Hope you are well. Yes, I'm good. Could you assist me with EPRG metrics? EPRG metrics, that is ethnocentric, polycentric, and then region centric and geocentric framework. Now, it is a framework. I don't know how. Uh, there's a whole thing I would have to do, but let me just give you the overview of it real quick. But it is something that is created by, I think, around the 1960s, and it is designed to be used in an international process of businesses and mainly addresses how companies view international management orientation. So what happens is that according to this model, there are four management approaches that an organization can take to get more involved in the international business sustainability. So about four business decisions that they can take. That is the ethnocentric, the polycentric, and then the region centric, and then the geocentric in relation to that. Now, in a simple language, the ethnocentric approach of management of international business sustainability is where the company is in a local country and it wants to do business overseas, but does not put in much effort to research about the overseas market. Instead, what it would do is that it will undertake its market research and execute everything from the local country. All right, from the local country. So what happens here is that with the ethnocentric, we don't do a lot of research from in the outside. Like they don't travel outside to really look at what is the scope of the business going on there. All they will look at is, okay, they will undertake a market research and execute the research from the local country, and whatever it is that they think about, then they will be looking at it there. Now, mostly what happens is that the ethnocentric approach uses the same marketing strategies that are created by the local personnel and then further utilize them in multi countries, the local country, and then use it in other countries. So, for instance, we are a Ghanaian company. We want to enter into, we want to trade internationally. So, we go into the UK. Now, we don't go to the UK to go and research how things are sold in the UK. No, we just use our marketing strategies that we've been using here in Ghana, and then boom, we take it there in relation to that. So that is the idea about the ethnocentric approach. Then the polycentric approach, with this one, it is the direct opposite of the ethnocentric approach. Here, the company utilizes the approach carefully, and what it does is that the company has a local headquarters and a separate overseas office in the host country that manages the operation in that or in more countries. So unlike ethnocentric, where you are operating from Ghana and the headquarters is in Ghana and you market the products outside, with the polycentric, you have the headquarters in Ghana, but you also have a separate entity like a permanent how do we call it? A permanent establishment. It could be a branch in that particular country in relation to that. And that is the direct opposite of the ethnocentric in that case. Then we come to the regiocentric. Now, with this one, it is an approach for international business sustainability where companies look at the areas in which the local business operates. What happens is that it utilizes two kinds of different approaches with a regional-centric approach. So the organization uses the regional-centric approach for the business in the region in which it operates. So, for instance, it could be the sub-Sahara region, Okay, so in the sub-Sahara region, what is going to happen is that it can decide, okay, if in our own country or in our own country, yes, we're going to be using our market strategy. So we can decide to either adopt a polycentric or an ethnocentric for all the regions. So if we are operating in the sub-Sahara region, what is going to happen is that they can decide and say, oh, we don't have to have branches or separate entities in all the sub-Sahara countries we are operating in. No, we want to be in Ghana and then we do everything. That is what? The ethnocentric. Okay, and then another way they could say is that, okay, we are operating in the sub-Sahara region, but we want to have separate branches in maybe 2 or 3 of them to manage 2 or 3 countries separately in that case. So that is where we look at the regional. So it could be the sub-Sahara region, it could be the Asian region, depending on how the entity decides to actually segregate its market in relation to that. Then the last one is the geocentric approach. And with this one, it means that a business believes that it is possible to utilize one type of strategy in all countries, regardless of their culture differences. So with a geocentric, they develop one business model, they develop one business strategies, and then regardless of the country, they are going to be using the same thing in that case. Why the companies will use this approach? Because of the fact that they wouldn't want to incur a lot of costs, or they want to minimize operation costs in trying to adapt to the other countries. In that case, they develop all their internal or local business processes, marketing strategies, and everything to meet an international standard, so that it can now be tailored or applicable irrespective of where organizations are. So technically, I may do a full video on this where we look at some cases and scenarios on that. But technically, that is what this framework basically is about. So let me know in the chat box. I see some of you guys joining. Welcome to the stream. Smash the like button for us when you join. That way we get more engagement on the video, and YouTube will be able to push the video so we can reach as many students as possible. Most importantly, I want you to comment in the chat box any questions you have for me. Probably you are studying something and you have some questions with it. Let me know if you I need to or what questions I need to answer. Hamza said, and how to take decisions whether capacity variance is either favorable or adverse. Please give numerical examples also. I may not be able to give you any numerical example, but what you need to understand is that capacity, fixed overhead capacity variance is about comparing your budgeted units against your actual units. So if your budgeted unit is more than your actual, that is a favorable variance. If your budgeted unit is less than your actual, that is an how do we call it? That is an adverse variance in relation to that. So that is the idea about how you determine whether it is favorable or it is adverse. So you budgeted to produce 10,000 and you produce 8,000. What happens is that you've produced less than the capacity. For that reason, that becomes an adverse variance. Or you budgeted to produce 20,000, but you actually produce 22,000. What happens is that the difference becomes a favorable variance in relation to that. So that is the idea about determination of the favorable and adverse variance when it comes to the fixed overhead expenditure. Ruben Bologna said, good evening, sir. Good evening, Ruben. I hope you're doing well. Japheth Osei Frimpong is giving a thumbs up. Okay. Samuel Quason said, thank you very much. You're welcome. Ruben said, EPRG metrics well explained. Okay. Hi, sir. Nayan Gupta. Hello, Nayan. I hope you're doing well. Motivate a little bit, sir. Today, exams are too close. Okay, so I'll come there in a moment. Please comment in the chat box any questions you have for me as you are studying and preparing for the exams. Let me know in the chat box any questions you have for me, what you would want me to share my thoughts on real quick as we prepare for the examination. Remember, if you're in the ICA gee, like I said, you have less than 18 days to go, more or less like 17 days. I feel like, gee, it's like it's just here. Like you can really feel it. You can really feel it that, hey, the exams is here. Ruben Bologna said, I'm fine, sir, and you? I'm flourishing as well, Ruben. So basically, what I keep on telling you guys, I keep on telling you, you've got to work hard, and hard work pays off. In the next 2 weeks, like I keep on telling my students, I told them when we started preparing to start our executive revision masterclass, which is currently ongoing. I tell them that, hey, you've got to put in the work. If you are lazy, you're going to screw yourself up in the exam hall, because you see, like I keep on saying, there is this moronic statements that some people make, and they are like, examination favors the fool. And I'm like, are you serious? Examination doesn't favor the fool. Examination favors people who put in the work, who put in the effort, who put in the sacrifices. And like I keep on saying all the time, don't register for the exams because everybody is registering for the exams. Don't register for the exam because, oh, you are growing and you want to marry, or you want to get a new job, or you want to make money, so you are registering. No, 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 no. The question is, are you prepared for the exams? That's the deal, man. This is not a competition where you try to, no, 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 no. You've got to ask yourself, am I freaking ready to prepare and pass the exams ultimately? Because you see, the emotional trauma you go through when you fail the exams, it's really heartbreaking. It's really embarrassing in that case. So what you want to do is, 9 out of 10, most of you have registered for the exams already. So now what you've got to do is put in the work, put in the effort, put in the sacrifice. If by this time you are still sleeping like 10 hours, 12 hours, 8 hours, I don't know why you'll be sleeping like that. Okay? You've got to work hard. You've got to sacrifice. You've got to practice a lot of questions. Sorry. So it goes back to what I keep on sharing with you all the time. In order for you to pass the exams, you need to go through 3 stages, or you need 3 things. Number 1, understand the basic concepts in the subject that you are studying. Number 2, make sure you have an examination analysis document which tells you the structure of the exams and then the areas you have to focus on in the exams. Then number 3, you practice questions. Practice questions. Please don't go and download ICA question and be practicing ICA past questions. Get an ICA question bank in addition. Get some ACCA questions in addition. Open yourself and expose yourself to as many questions as possible. And if you happen to attend lectures where, like, there are questions that are given to you by your tuition providers, then it is going to help assist you well in relation to that. Like here, what we do here, our students have access to the question kit, which has a lot of questions in there, and they can practice a lot. And whether they are given an assignment or not, and I really hold people highly accountable here. They know that, hey, if you don't do the assignment, I'm going to sack you from the class, and that is it. Because it is not, I keep on telling them all the time, it is not just about, yeah, I've paid fees, you come and raise your shoulders. No, no, no. It's about getting us the results that we need in relation to that. So I will say that in the next few weeks, probably give yourself the next 2 weeks. I always tell you, a day to the exams, you should be cruising. Okay, you shouldn't be mentally fatigued. You shouldn't be stressing. Like, you should be cruising, meaning that you reduce the pressure and you will be able to go through the things in that case. So make sure that you really sit down, practice a lot of questions that you need to practice in order for you to increase your chances of ultimately passing the exams. I cannot overemphasize the importance of that as you prepare for this exam. So in the next 2 weeks, I don't know, let hell break loose. Okay. And I keep on saying, why did you start this exams in the first place? Like, why do you want to be a chartered accountant? Why do you want to be a chartered accountant? Okay, like I keep on saying, some of you, your success depends on, or your family depends on your success. Your future depends on your success, and many other things depend on you. And you know, irrespective of the money you have, irrespective of the car you drive, irrespective of how much salary you make, all those things are not enough for you. That is why you are doing this course, because you know when you finish this course, boom, your life can be taken to the other level. Some of you, it's because you want to run your own company, you want to run your own institution, and you want to be a qualified person running your own institution. In that way, you control your own affairs. Some of you, you want to become the CEO of your company. That is why you are doing this, or you want to get more money. That is why you are doing this. Let that be a motivation for you to pass the exams. I cannot motivate you. You must motivate yourself. So find out what is it that you need to do in order for you to pass the exams, and put in the work and do whatever it is legitimately for you to ultimately pass the exams. All right. I see some comments coming in. Let's see if we can address them real quick. Could you share your thoughts on advanced audit with respect to public sector side? I don't get the question about that. Maybe you can contextualize the question, because I don't understand some more. You can contextualize the question for me, and then I could answer you. Roland Fair. Hello, Roland. I hope you are doing well. I see your comments coming in. Hi, sir. Hello, Roland. Senior said, talk about IAS 41, IFRS 6. These are standards that I would have to spend time to lecture on. But IAS 41 is simply about agriculture, I guess. And it's about where it goes with IAS too, okay? It's about how we recognize biological assets and those things. Uh, it's something that I would have to lecture. So probably one of these days I'll take these standards up. And then IFRS 6 is about exploration for, and then evaluation of mineral resources. I have not gone through that standard very well to really have what it is I need to talk about there. So like I said, probably some other time I may talk about IAS 41. I don't know. It's like we have a content on that already on the channel, so you can check it out under the standards to be able to understand that. But that is a whole lecture, so I will not be able to provide you with any assistance there. Okay, you are saying that like government or public sector audit. Yeah, as per the syllabus structure, you have to know about public sector audit. That is a huge aspect. I don't know what exactly. I don't know what exactly you would want me to share on there, but if you look at your syllabus, I think I have the syllabus open here. There are a couple of things you need to look out for there. You need to explain the principles of the audit of financial statements. What are the types of audits in the public sector? You need to look at that. The role of the auditor general. You know that when it comes to public sector audit, we are dealing with uh, the State Audit Institute, which is the Auditor General Department, and then the head of the State Audit Institute is the one responsible for the audit of public sector organizations. And there are types of public sector audits that you would have to be on the lookout for in that case. It goes with the same thing in relation to that. We have what we call the financial auditing. We have what we call the performance auditing. We have what we call the compliance auditing. This is actually something I'll be discussing with our students in our executive region masterclass today. We have advanced audit and assurance today, this evening. So it's a broad area, but number one, there is going to be the role of the controller accountant general there. There is going to be the types of public sector audits there. Then we have the elements of the public sector audit. You know these things already. The tripartite relationship, that is the auditor, the responsible party being the principal spending officer or the principal account holder or the management of the entities responsible for the preparation of the financial statement, and then the intended users. In the public sector, the intended users, yeah, definitely will be the parliament, the executive arm of government, and certainly individuals, organizations, and the citizen as a whole. Then the subject matter criteria there. When the auditor general is auditing, there are various ways through which he audits the financial statements. It has to be in accordance with the laws. It has to be in accordance with the budgets, so the appropriation the budget, approved budget, and then the Public Financial Management Act 2016, Act 921. So these are the criteria that is going to be using, making sure that every expenditure item we are getting value for money at the end of the day. Then there are types of engagement that we must know about in the public sector. So it's a broad area. Okay, it's a whole lecture on its own. But like I said, you need to look at the role of the Auditor General, the types of the audit, the elements of the audit, and types of engagement. These are some of the things there in that case. But it's a broad area and will require me to lecture the whole thing and take my time on it in that case. But technically, that is what you need to understand in relation to that. Then there are principles also of public sector auditing. We have the ethical principles, the professional principles, quality control is there, materiality, audit risks, all of these things, documentation, communication, all these are principles of public sector audit. So, like I said, it's a broad area. Okay, it's a broad area, and it will require me to have a whole lecture on that. It will require me to have a whole lecture on that. Okay. Nyan said, how much typing speed should be good for ACCA exams? I will, yes, it depends. It depends on everybody. But then, the higher your typing speed, the better it is for you. But then you need to make sure that the more you have the typing speed, you are also being accurate, because yeah, you can be typing blah blah blah, but before you realize it, you are really having a lot of mistakes in what you've typed. So maybe someone with a lower typing speed could be more efficient, so he doesn't or she doesn't have to go over the work long time to check whether there are typos or not. So I would say the higher the better, but the more efficient the better it is in that case. So Nayan, that is what I would say there. Thank you, appreciate. Okay, you are welcome. Any other questions for me real quick? Any other questions for me? I see some of you smashing the like button on Facebook as well as on YouTube. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for smashing the like button. And remember to also comment below with any questions you have, anything you would want me to share my thoughts on. Comment below real quick, and then let's look at how we answer them for you. Senior said, how do we treat dividend paid by the subsidiary? Dividend paid by the subsidiary is supposed to be taken to the group retained earnings. So it depends on if you are preparing the P&L account, that doesn't come in the income statement. You know that already. So the consolidated income statement, that doesn't come there. So usually it goes into the group retained earnings for the parents in that case. I just wanted the highlights and you have delivered it appropriately. Thank you. Okay, you're welcome. Say IAS 37, give a brief summary. Now, that is also a broad thing, but we have a video on that already on the channel. But in a simple language, IAS 37 provisions contingent liability, contingent assets. I think even yesterday I mentioned it. There is a recognition criteria for provisions. There's a difference between provision and liability. Provision is a liability of uncertain amount and timing. And there are three recognition criteria, or the recognition criteria is that the ROT, meaning that the amount should be reliably measured. There has to be a present obligation, and it will result into transfer of future economic benefits embodying the entity. So once you meet the criteria, boom, you can find out how you will be able to recognize it. Then provisions can be applied under various circumstances or various scenarios. Something like warranty, something like environmental cost, something like self-insurance. So that is the idea there. Now, if the provision relates to a property plans and like an environmental cost, we will discount it into present term and then we will capitalize it. So we will debit PPE, credit the provisions. But if it is a provision for something that is not a capital nature, then we write it off in the P&L account and credit the provision. But as always, there has to be what is called unwinding or unwinding, which is the annual charge or annual provision, and that is going to be the cost of capital of the entity times the present value, and that is going to give you the answer in relation to that. So basically, provision is a broad area, but basically that is what you need to understand in that case. Then we have contingent liabilities, contingent assets. These are all dependent on the certainty of the event occurring. If it is virtually certain that the event will occur, contingent liability, you provide for it. Contingent assets, you recognize it. If it is probable, then you contingent liability, you still provide for it. Contingent assets, you disclose it in the footnote. If it is not like we are intermediate, we are not sure about it, contingent liability will be disclosed in the footnote. Contingent assets you ignore, you don't do anything. But if it is a remote, that means I always use this word, it's foolish case, meaning that for liability you ignore, asset you also ignore in relation to that. So that is the idea about what you need to understand in relation to IAS 37. So any questions again? So Nicole, that is the issue there. Let me know if you get it now. Any other questions for me real quick? Nayan said, today I studied 4 hours continuous. After that, I took break for 1 hour. But that due to headache, I was unable to start thereafter. Any tips for that? Don't sit 4 hours straight learning. That is not good. Okay? It's not good to sit 4 hours straight learning. Effectively, you should break after every 45 minutes. Okay? Effectively, break after every 45 minutes. So you can set a timer or set a clock. After every 45 minutes, get up, go for a snack break, or you can just walk around your room, that kind of thing. Then you rejuvenate yourself and then you come back to the book. But sitting down 4 hours straight continuous like that, the brain, you have a mental fatigue and it will affect the efficiency and the effectiveness of your brain. And you will stress yourself a lot. When that happens, even what you study will not become very effective and your retention will fall. Okay? Your retention will fall. So you got to make sure that you understand what is going on. So Nayan, please don't sit 4 hours continuously, because you realize that after that you were having headache. Yes, that is the ripple effect of that. So just do 45 minutes. After every 45 minutes, take a break, because you see, the mind can actually 9 out of 10, the mind can focus, especially if you are not mentally developed. If you are not like the high performance people, which I know you are not, because you are now developing. High performance people, yes, we can sit down and then we can study because you know how to do all of that. But in all of those things, you will be taking some break out. You will be taking some break out. Now, the break is not for you to go on social media and go and do some things, but it's just for you to walk around, get some water, get some fruit juice, and then just get a system working properly in relation to that. So Nayan, please don't go 4 hours straight. Every 45 minutes, take a short break. Every 45 minutes, take a short break, and you realize that your brain will not have you will not have the headache, because there will not be more pressure on that. Does it make sense? Okay, so Nicole Williams said thanks. Please, before the exam, helps us with branch accounting. I have checked on the playlist; they are not there. Please, Nhyira. Okay, we will check if it is possible for us to cover that. Then we will be able to cover them in that case. Okay. So we will check if it is possible to cover them. Most of these things, we cover them in our full course on our online study portal that students get access to. So if there is a content you are looking for that is not on the channel already, then that means we have not decided to put that on the channel yet because my team have to look at all of that as well. But they will be in our paid course on the study portal. So yes, if we have the time available and we can look at them, we will be able to look at them on the channel. If not, then possibly it will be some time later in the future. But I hope that if we receive the request much, we'll be able to do that. Any other questions for me real quick? Any other questions for me real quick? Any other questions for me real quick? All right. So, like I was giving Nayan some tips on how you can study. I know some of you will now going to sit down. You are like, hey, I have to do 6 hours straight up. No, no, no. You're gonna have migraine, and you're gonna affect your efficiency and effectiveness on yourself. So, 45 minutes at most. Take a break. 45 minutes at most, take a break, because that is going to help you in order for you to prepare well for your examination. So to avoid migraine, to avoid headache, to avoid those challenges and difficulty, please, 45 minutes, take a break. 45 minutes, take a break. Unless you are an A-lister, that means you are a high performance person. Yes, if you're a high performance person, yes, you have developed yourself to that level, so you could do 3 hours straight. Even that one, definitely you would have to take some break in between to be able to go through in that case. So that is what I would say there. Someone said, please, how do we go about what business risk questions in AA? Okay. Now, it depends on the question, but number one, in the question, uh, number one in the question, you need to find out what is the risks that you have involved in the question. So, depending on the question, you will understand the risks. So, basically, you need to understand the risks in general, the strategic risks, the compliance risks, the financial risks. Like, you need to have an idea of all of these things. But then at the end of the day, the question will tell you what is going on. So, for instance, let's pull a scenario up. So, let's say that the examiner brings a scenario like this, that an entity has let's say it's a retail store, so NP Limited, and has a shop across the country, and has sells clothings, okay, sells clothings, and sells the clothings online as well as sells the clothing offline. But recently many people buy the clothing online, and the entity is able to have an internal audit that will go around in various stores to count on a rotational basis in relation to that. So in this kind of scenario, what do you think could be the business risks there? Now, with the website, functionality of the website could be an issue in there. They having multiple branches there could mean that they may not be able to visit all the branches and find out whether all the branches are working the way they are supposed to work. Since it is a fashion company, they may have some issue in relation to obsolete or out of date clothing, which will lead to the risks of material misstatement about overstating of inventories. So it depends on the scenario, okay? And you will be able to answer the question in relation to that. It depends on scenario, and you will be able to answer the question in relation to that. So that is what I would tell you in that case. I think I told you this yesterday, that it requires you practicing questions, exposing yourself to questions, and then being guided under various question scenarios, what risks are involved, and then how you contextualize it. But you need to understand the general issues about the types of risks that businesses are exposed to. Then from the question, you will be able to contextualize, oh, okay, this deficiency is, you don't say, oh, this deficiency is an inherent risk, this deficiency is a control risk, this deficiency, no, no, no. You need to just bring them out there. Then certainly the examiner may ask you, what will you do in terms of the appropriate course of action that you need to take in that case. So that is what I would say about the answering of it. Then I see another comment coming on IFRS 8 operating segment. That is also a whole lecture on its own that I would have to cover. But in a simple language, operating segment has to do with where an organization has more than one division, and they may decide to treat each division as an operating segment. Okay, they may decide to treat each division as an operating segment. Now, if they decide to treat it as an operating segment, that means they will prepare a single financial statement or financial statement for each of these divisions in relation to that. Now, in that context, will a division qualify as an operating segment? A division qualifies as an operating segment, and there are certain criteria that we need to go through. One, that the divisions prepare its separate financial statements, and the divisions records are looked at by the management of the organization, and the division's revenue is, I think there are about some criteria. The division revenue is maybe more than 50% of the total revenue of the business. So there are certain criteria that we follow before we can categorize each division as a separate entity to prepare separate financial statements for them. I get it. So that at the end of the day, we'll be able to know each division's profit, each division's loss, each division's assets. Then we can now prepare for the group statement in relation to that. So that is the idea about that. So that is a broad standard as well. Maybe I think we don't have a lecture on that on YouTube here. Maybe later on. All the standards you're asking today, we don't already have lecture on them, but we have lecture on them certainly on our study portal. So maybe sometime later we could look at them here on the channel. Okay, so any other questions for me real quick? Any other questions for me real quick? Someone said, you know, some of the answers gives effect on the financial statement and others. Thank you. I'm really practicing the questions. All right, that is fine. That is great. That is great. Okay, so if there are no other questions, I'll be concluding around here today. We have our lecture coming on in the next few minutes as we continue with our executive leadership masterclass. Today we have advanced audit and assurance, and then we'll be continuing with our discussion. So I'll come your way same time tomorrow for any Q&A. I'm looking at if tomorrow we can probably do some teaching and then answer some questions on the board for you guys if you bring up questions like that. So thank you very much for joining the stream. It's always a pleasure coming your way, and I'll see you same time tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. GMT, as we continue with our discussion. Continue to study. We have less than 16 days to go, really. So continue to study, continue to work hard, and continue to practice a lot of questions. But most importantly, Understand the basic principles. Understand the basic principles. If you don't understand the basic principles, you can solve 1 million questions. You will still not be able to pass the exams. But you need to be able to look at how you study and understand the basic principles in relation to that. So thank you very much for joining the stream, and I'll catch you same time tomorrow.